Hello everybody, welcome to a Pokemon challenge run. My name is Chilln Play, and today we're going to be going on an adventure through the Pokemon Fire Red games. Now, some of you guys may have seen my other video where I attempted to beat Pokemon Crystal using only a team of babies. Well, this time we're going to be using a team of babies to beat Pokemon Fire Red. And also, since we're in another generation, we added a few new members to the team and basically substituted a couple babies out. But one thing I will mention is some of the Pokemon from the last video did make it into this team, simply because there's not that big of a baby pool to choose from. So I chose some of the star players from the last video, and so they're here on the team for this one. Now, some of you guys don't know the rules for this type of challenge run, and basically what we're going to be doing is going through the entire game of Pokemon Fire Red using only our team of babies, and we're not going to be able to heal in battle. And we're also, a little thing I added for this challenge, something I did last video by accident, but I thought was a good addition, was I'm going to make sure that the highest level Pokemon on my team is going to be equal to or lower level than the strongest Pokemon on the current gym leader's team. So that should make it a little bit harder too, guys, so we'll see what happens, and let's go ahead and run through the team here. The champions from the last video that are ready to take on another region, Magby, Smoochum, and Elekid. These guys are really tough, honestly. They're definitely the best babies on the team, but starting us off here, we got the Sparkplug with Quick Attack and Leer, Randy Savage with Tackle, who unfortunately doesn't learn moves for a long time, or actually at all. Quite literally, I kid you not, he only learns Tackle by level up, so this guy is a pain in the butt to train, but we'll get to that. Next up, Frieza with Pound and Lick, and we've got Bluebell with Splash and Charm, also another pain to train. Magby has Ember, and Lil One has Pound, Charm, and Encore, so not too bad. But anyways, guys, that's our team, so let's go ahead and see if we can do this. What I'm going to be doing for this video, guys, is mainly skipping throughout the game and just sharing the important moments, so you won't see me, perhaps, for example, grinding forever or just fighting useless trainers. Probably won't even include things like Team Rocket battles and stuff like that. All that doesn't really matter. We're just gonna jump straight on into the first gym here. So starting us off here at Brock, I trained up everyone along the way, the Viridian Forest and such, and Bluebell actually learns Bubble at level 10, which is gonna be very useful for getting us through this first gym, guys, because if you didn't know, basically I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but all Gen 1 Pokemon that are Rock type are also Ground type, so 4 times effectiveness all the way. If I'm wrong on that, let me know. But anyways, starting it off with Brocky Boy himself. Now, this guy is the rock solid first gym leader of the game. Actually very easy, pretty much a joke. But one thing I actually learned right here, I didn't even really pay attention to it until I started this playthrough, was Azurill is actually not a water type. It's pure normal type. So for those of you who didn't know that, there you go. But as you can see here, just working our way through this gym with Bubble. Threw out a Charm on the Onix just in case he did happen to take me down with Rock Tomb or something. He wouldn't be too powerful for the rest of my team. But guys, we have no issue taking this first gym badge down with a couple of bubbles. We clean them up and head on out. Next up, we deliver some massive chops to the nearby route trainers and make our way to Mount Moon, strengthening ourselves along the way. After we made it through Mount Moon, as you can see, I'm literally carrying dead bodies right now. The cool part was we ran into the 2 karate dudes outside the Mount Moon cave, and we got to learn Mega Punch and Mega Kick, which is nice because Cleffa honestly needed a strong normal type move. Even though it's a little inaccurate, it'll make her more useful. Right now, all she does is sing songs and chill and stuff like that. And Tyrogue, on the other hand, learned Mega Kick, so he finally has something other than Tackle. So that's nice. After arriving in Cerulean City, we did go straight for our rival fight, and we got clapped, so that was a GG. We had to train up a little bit more and try it again, but on the next run we started off by pretty much clapping them down relatively easily. A lot of sweet kisses and super effective smacks from Elekid, and then we pretty much come up to the Charmander and we just let Lil One collect a little bit of experience, sweet kiss it in the face, and proceed to Mega Punch it. That is a really good move at this point in the game, but it won't be forever. So here we are at Misty now. We have trained up a decent amount of levels, clearing out the Nugget Bridge and heading to Bill's Cottage. All those trainers, I mean, there's a lot of trainers collected in these areas. In fact, this game in general is just known for having a lot of trainers in the routes. But guys, we did not get high enough level. As you can see here, we struggled our way down to Starmie. We did okay. We got it really low with Lil One's Magical Leaf, but it wasn't enough. And it's gonna, of course, use those juicy super potions and then pretty much finish off everyone else with Water Pulse. So that's a GG. We did get a few more levels when we came back, and Sparkplug is a powerhouse. Finally, we are met with the Starmie. We go ahead and confuse it with Lil One, try to get off as much damage with Magical Leaf as we can, and then we send in Sparkplug for the final Thunder Punch that will take it out. And that's Misty defeated, guys. Not too big of a deal. At this point, we do get the Water Pulse TM and teach it to her Azurill because Just look at this guy. He's freaking weak, dude. He's just as weak as he looks, guys. Trust me. Whew, he is hard to carry throughout this playthrough, but thankfully, we got people like Elekid over here walking around with Thunder Punch. Look at this. Look at this. Thunder Punch naturally learned at level 9. 75 power, 100% accuracy, 10% chance to paralyze. That's freaking busted. I say all that to say this, we are finally getting some move pool diversity on the team. We have collected Brick Break for Tyrogue on the ship, and we did get Dig and Cerulean for Cleffa, so we're finally getting some nice move pool diversity. We do go ahead and train on all of the trainers located on the ship, which normally I would skip in a regular playthrough, but we do need levels, we need money, so we go ahead and kill all of these guys that we can, just to get them out of the way and collect some levels before we take on Surge. Before we can get the HM for cut and take on the gym, we have to take care of our rival again, so let's go ahead and give him the claps. I accidentally started out with Randy Savage out front, so after a switch in, we finally land a Thunder Punch on Pidgeotto and take it out in one shot as suspected. The Raticate here is pretty strong actually at this point in the game with its Hyper Fang. It can one-shot Lil One, but however, Randy Savage does have that Brick Break, so we take him down relatively easily, and then that Kadabra comes out and we just lick it down, honestly. Hoping for the paralysis that we do get, and unfortunately the Synchronize returns the favor, and we also become paralyzed. But with the power of Confusion and Super Bops, we take him down, and now it's time for the Charmeleon. And believe it or not, our Water Pulse is doing nothing, because as we discovered earlier in the game, Bluebell is not really a water type. So we resort to using Slam, and everybody pretty much dies, and then we have to pull out Spark Plug to clean it up like always. So after that's over, it's time to rub this captain's back. Yes, indeed. It is not weird at all, actually. And he gives us the HM for cut, and then we can finally take on Surge. Now, Surge was actually decently difficult, probably the strongest fight yet. In fact, definitely, but not because his Pokemon or anything special, but the double team and paralysis cheese is unreal in this gym. So what I actually ended up dying to was just missing all of my moves, and I'm also down one Pokemon in this gym because you have to have an HM Slave with cut to get in here. So anyways, guys, after a few tries and a little bit of leveling up, we do have some better results here. Starting off with a nice critical hit here on Voltorb for a one-hit KO, and then we switch over to Goofball, and we Fire Punch as many of his team members down as we can. Goofball is actually really fast, so that helps us out a lot, but the quick attacks do take us out, and then we finally throw in Randy Savage to get a Mega Kick, which is only going to put Raichu at a shred of health. He gets quick attacked out, but luckily he is out of Super Potions at this point, so if we could just get through this paralysis, we will kill this thing with quick attack. And there it is. And that's the third gym completed. I really planned on Dig shining more there, but it couldn't do too much damage, honestly, because of the double teams. After fighting for our lives in the Rock Tunnel, we find ourselves in Lavender Town, where we take on our rival again at the Pokemon Tower. His team really just doesn't stand a chance for us still at this point, guys. We have enough type coverage at this point to pretty much give him the bops. 2 Powder Snows is enough to take out a Pidgeot. 1 Thunder Punch, of course, is enough to take out a Gyarados. Fire Punch is more than enough to take out an Execute. Next up is a Kadabra, and we sweetly kiss it on the face just to make it confused by what's going on. Then ironically uses Confusion on us, but it's not enough. We Mega Punch it 2 times to kill it. Finally, we are met with this Charmeleon, who puts up a little bit of a fight, but we do Water Pulse it down. Despite it getting a burn off on us at the end there, we do managed to kill it. Thank God, Bluebell, you champion. With that out of the way, we did make our way to Celadon City next, guys, beating a lot of trainers along the way and training up our levels. If you want to check out the movesets here, I'm going to quickly flash them on screen just to know kind of where we are at this point in the journey. If you want to pause the video and take a look, feel free to do so, but I'm going to keep it moving for the sake of time. Next up, we do the Rocket Hideout and pretty much just clear out all of these easy trainers. Again, this is just more training because we are about to experience a serious level jump here shortly. So making our way through here, we do eventually find Boss Giovanni. I figured this fight with Giovanni at this stage in the game would be pretty easy. He starts off with an Onix, which of course is just a one-hit Powder Snow. Next up, he does have the Kangaskhan, however, though, and that thing is actually really strong. It ends up clearing out the whole team, mainly because we just don't have any moves to use against it besides Brick Break, and Tyrogue is not the strongest. So after a nice little level grind, we do return to Giovanni, ready to give him the beat down this time. Once again, one shot on Onix, then we Brick Break the Kangaskhan here, and we actually do some critical hit damage. We finish him off with Goofball, and then we go to Frieza for the final Powder Snow on Rhyhorn, and that is Giovanni defeated. And then we scoot right on over into Erika. Erika is one of the easiest gyms that we deal with in this entire playthrough, especially up until this point in the game. Fire Punching with Magby is a very effective strategy to start off with, but we do have a plethora of super effective moves to choose from should he go down. These Pokemon really like to use paralysis techniques, so I switch around and go to Frieza next to get some Powder Snow cheese. Of course, Vileplume will go for the paralysis on us with Stun Spore, but it is no problem at all. We're just going to finish it off with a few more confusions, and that's going to claim us the gym badge from Erika. With another badge on our belt, we travel on over with the Poke Flute and free Mr. Fuji from the top of the Pokemon Tower. Then we go to Mr. Psychic's house and get Psychic, and I can't believe that we can actually learn this move. It's insanely powerful. We replace Lick with it, and then we challenge Koga. And now that we have Psychic, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, this gym is not a problem at all. We pretty much just Psychic Blast everything other than the Mucks, just because their special D is a little high. So we do end up switching out to Sparkplug, going for some Paralysis Cheese, but he does whittle us down. I find the best strategy to be using Randy Savage and using Counter. This is one of the times that Randy Savage actually shines, guys. This is one of the things he's mostly used for in this playthrough. But anyways, with that Muck out of the way, now we can go back to Frieza and one-shot everything, even the level 43 Weezing with Psychic. And now it's time for Frieza to ascend to her final form. We travel to the game corner and pick up the coins we need to get Ice Beam. And with Ice Beam on our team, we replace Powder Snow, and we just leveled up big time. With our new moves and our new badges, we take on the rival again here in the Silphco. We start off by one-shotting the Pidgeot and the Gyarados. The Thunder Punch is 4 times effective. Just too good. Next up, Ice Beam is too strong for the Execute as well. Then comes out the Charizard, and you know we're going to blast that with a Thunder Punch. It does a decent amount of damage, but luckily we do get the Paralysis, and that's going to save us, guys. One Flamethrower is going to be too much for Sparkplug. We send out Goofball to finish the job. We get some critical hits with Secret Power, and we get it down to 1 HP. Luckily, Internet does not love his Pokemon and doesn't heal it, so we take it out. And here's where Goofball actually learns Flamethrower, and that is insane, guys. That is a 95 power, 100% accuracy move, so we are getting beefy all around. Finally, we deal with this Alakazam by just confusing it and basically hitting it in the face with Magical Leaf so that we can't miss. Also throwing in a few Mega Punches here and there until it dies. And with that, guys, we have defeated our rival again, and it's time to face Giovanni. And honestly, guys, I'm not even going to include this fight really, just because all I did was use Frieza to Ice Beam and Psychic everything down. It was insanely easy. Next, we head on over to Sabrina's gym and get ready to challenge her. It's at this point in the game that my team is really starting to steamroll all over these Pokemon, and it really shows here in this fight. A couple of Swifts is more than enough to deal with the Kadabra without even taking any damage. And it's right here that I actually learned Thunderbolt on Sparkplug, which is even better than Thunder Punch, so we go ahead and teach him that, and then we go ahead and proceed to clear through the rest of the Pokemon. For some reason, she has a Venomoth on her team, but we just switch to Goofball and Flamethrower that in one hit, and then the Alakazam is a Glass Cannon, as we all know, so I just hit it with a couple of physical attacks, in this case, Secret Power, and we slap it down and collect our 6th badge. Now it's time to take on the 7th gym leader, Blaine, the Fire-type Mad Scientist. I expected this one to be relatively easy now that we do have Surf on Bluebell, but as you will see here, we don't do crap for damage. But after a few of them, we do manage to whittle this Growlithe down, but he does get a Hyper Potion off, so I just go ahead and use the Toxic, because I'm pretty sure at this point the Bluebell is going to go down, which it does, but then we just switch on over to Tyrogue to get himself some action. But unfortunately for Randy Savage, like it happens about 90% of the time in this playthrough, we get one banged, so that's a GG for him. He tried his best though. Finally, it's time for Lil One to get some action, and we come on in with a super effective Dig that actually takes out the Growlithe in conjunction with the Poison, and then we Sweet Kiss the Ponyta in the face before getting stomped, and then we switch out to Elekid to finish the job with Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, Elekid was not able to make it through the Rapidash. We did not get any paralyzed cheese, so of all things, we're actually forced to go to Frieza, who can nearly finish it off from that HP, but unfortunately, that is a Ripperino for Frieza. From this HP, Rapidash will surely get Hyper Potioned, and Frieza will not make it out of this fight, guys. So we send Goofball back out, and he's going to do his thing with the Secret Power. Whatever that power is, it is insanely good, and yeah, it gets a lot of paralysis cheese going on for the boys. And in fact, we even get it here on this Arcanine, who somehow we still outspeed even though we're level 42, but it doesn't end up mattering because he does use full heals and potions to stall us out until we die. But on the second attempt, I start with Sparkplug to set up a light screen just to help us survive more Fire Blasts, but unfortunately we do knock this Growlithe into heal range, but I guess it is better to get all the heals out of the way now. Next up, we switch to Lil One and start doing some digs on this Ponyta. She actually manages to take it out. Since we do have Sweet Kiss to confuse the Ponyta, we are able to stall it out with the 2-turn move like Dig and allow it to hurt itself a lot while we deal super effective damage. Next up is a Rapidash that does finish us off, but we do poison it with Bluebell and proceed to surf it as much as we can. Even though Bluebell goes down here, Frieza can come in and finish it off with a confusion, so that's pretty nice for us. Next up, we got this final Arcanine, and to help us out, we have Sparkplug go ahead and come out first and set up a light screen. Then we send out Frieza to sweetly kiss the Arcanine in the face and then proceed to Psychic it. Lucky for us, it does kill itself here, and that is Blaine defeated. That was way harder than it was supposed to be, guys, and way harder than I imagined, honestly. Okay, guys, it has been a bumpy ride, but here we are on the final gym badge, Giovanni himself. If you made it this far into the video, guys, I just want to say I appreciate you. If you're enjoying it, maybe leave a like. It helps more people find the videos, and subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to check out the other things we have going on the channel. But anyways, with that shameless plug out of the way, back to the fight here. As you can see, we're gonna have much of an issue here with Giovanni. Randy Savage, of all things, actually takes out his strongest Pokemon, Rhyhorn. The Dugtrio is a fast boy. He does manage to finish off Cleffa, but Elekid can quickly demolish him. And then a Psychic, of course, for Frieza will take out Nidoking. And that is the final gym badge, my dudes. Not a problem at all. As a reward, we also get the TM for Earthquake, which we will give to Randy Savage. So we get rid of Mega Kick because it's inaccurate, and we already have Strength. Now it's time to take on our rival right before we enter the Pokemon League. Starting off with Pidgeot here, we go for a super effective Thunderbolt, and it does decent damage, but not quite enough. However, it does use Feather Dance, which is actually good for us because we're not using physical attacks anyway. Unluckily for us, though, it does get a nice quick attack off, which does nearly half our health, but we do finish it off with no problem. And now it's time for this Rhyhorn. Frieza can one-shot it with Ice Beam, of course. The Charizard here is level 53. That's the main thing I was worried about. Luckily, the first Thunderbolt we use actually paralyzes it for us, and it loses its turn to paralysis, and then we finish it off with one more Thunderbolt. So no problems there. Next up is an Execute, which we are just going to give a Fire Punch. I don't know why he doesn't have an Executor right here. I mean, I feel like at this point of the game, he should definitely have it. And then, of course, a 4 times effective Thunderbolt on Gyarados. And then we finish up Alakazam with Toxic. And believe it or not, Randy Savage is actually able to Earthquake this thing down while it just uses Foresight over and over. Or Future Sight, I mean. GG. Okay, team. Here it is. The final test for these babies. The Elite Four. Starting us off here is Lorelei, the Ice-type user. Now, I did power level everyone a little bit, but don't worry, guys. I will still be underleveled for this challenge. Trust me. I did come straight here after I beat my rival in the last clip, but I was definitely too low level to stand a chance. And I learned that pretty quickly. But here we go. Dugong down in 2 Thunderbolts. Now it's on to Slowbro. Slowbro is a special defensive tank, guys, so even 1 Thunder is not enough to kill it. I resort to using Thunderbolt after it uses a couple of full restores, just to see if I can keep it out of that range, but unfortunately we knock it right into range, and we are forced to take extra damage to finish it off. But now it's on to Lapras. Lapras is just all around a problem. Super strong and tanky, and it has Confuse Ray. Why not? So Frieza goes down without doing much of anything at all. Now I'm just pretty much trying to decide what to do. I pretty much cycle through the whole team trying to find the proper strategy. Ultimately, what I come up with is that everyone is going to die to this thing's Ice Beam, because yeah, Lapras is OP. No, I'm just kidding. What we did decide to do is go to Goofball here and use Confuse Ray. Now, if this thing hits Goofball, of course he will die, but we're just gonna have to pray that it doesn't. We paralyze it, we confuse it, and then we proceed to beat it down with the Sunlight just to try and weaken its water type moves. Fortunately, it just goes for Ice Beam anyway, but we did just enough damage to send Sparkplug out and finish it off with a Thunder, and that is a good news for us because Lapras was a big challenge. We died multiple times to this. Now we're fighting Jinx here, and Jinx is a problem as well. It loves to use Lovely Kiss and put everyone to sleep. So what I figured out in the early stages, I must put Toxic on this Jinx in order to take it down, and that is just what we did. We Toxic it and whittle it down until Elekid can come in and finish the job. And that is Lorelei taken care of. Very tough starts to the Elite Four challenge. Coming up next, we have the fighting type Elite Four member Bruno. Well, he also has Onyx for some reason, but yo, we just one-shot that thing. Next up, guys, check out this Hitmonchan and my Randy Savage. As you can see, I'm trying to use counter. Check out how many times I used counter. I literally used, I think, 14 PP before we actually got him to attack. And by the way, it worked. That's a nice one-shot with counter. But either way, I couldn't take losing all of that PP, so I had to reset the fight and start that over because that was a little ridiculous. But I did have to include that just so you guys could see it. So anyways, with that out of the way, as it should happen, we use counter with Randy Savage to take out this Hitmonchan after he smacks us down with Sky Uppercut. That's pretty much the only way we could kill Hitmonchan. We don't really have that many good moves. And on this Hitmonlee, we go for Confuse Ray with the Goofball. Thankfully, Goofball is really fast, always able to get that off right away. Thankfully, he does hurt himself in Confusion some, and being that he is really high in physical attack, Hitmonlee takes a lot of damage from those Confusion hits. We are able to finish it off with a Flamethrower. Now it's time to deal with this Machamp, guys, and this thing is a freaking monster. It can definitely one-shot anything on the team. Thankfully, with the Sunlight being out, we do a decent chunk with Flamethrower, and after eating Citrus Berry, we do knock it down into healable range, but we get the burn and knock it out. And thankfully, it missed all of its attacks, or we would have died to any of those. Next up is an Onyx that we easily Ice Beam in the forehead and take right out of the game. GG Bruno. Next up is my least favorite Elite Four member, Agatha. This is one of the cheesiest members, maybe cheesier than Quick GG himself. So we're just gonna play the game that they play and basically go for the cheese. So we hit it with the Flamethrower after using Confuse Ray to make it hit itself, and that's going to get it right down into heal range, and luckily we grab that burn once again to take it out of the fight. G to the G for you, Gengar. That thing can put you to sleep, eat your dreams, all kind of terrible things. Next up is a Golbat that is an easy one-shot for Frieza, followed by an Arbok that is sadly too fast for Frieza to handle, but Randy Savage can come through with the Earthquake. Amazingly here, when I go for counter, she actually switches out to a Haunter, so that's some pretty crazy moves for the AI there, but luckily we just respond by going to Spark Plug. Haunter misses a Hypnosis and we're able to take him out no problem. And then we go back to Randy Savage for our original plan of using counter to take down everything in the game, dude. I love it, dude. I love counter. Actually, I mean, it's just the only thing that makes Randy Savage useful. Next up, we go to Bluebell to charm this Gengar so that we have bad luck trying to take it out. It won't be able to hit us very hard because all poison moves in this game are physical. And then we pretty much use Confuse Ray and cheese it down with Flamethrower once again with Goofball, getting another burn. Sadly, though, this one's not going to take it out. It's just going to get full restore to full health. And then we're going to put out a Sunny Day because we pretty much saw that coming and we want more powerful flamethrowers. So we do just that and we do insane amount of damage on him. And we're going to be able to KO him in just 2 flamethrowers. That is Agatha GG'd, my dudes. It was definitely not easy. Took a couple of fights, but we made it through. Here it is, gang. The final Elite Four member, Lance the Dragon type Master. We start off with Spark Plug here with a 4 times effective Thunderbolt. Then we throw it to Frieza to Ice Beam the Dragonair. Now it's time to deal with this Aerodactyl. Bluebell makes a starring appearance here and charms this thing down a couple stages. Then it goes for a Hyper Beam and gives me a perfect chance to switch into Lil One and set up a Reflect. Next up we go to Spark Plug and we drop Heavy Bombs with Thunderbolt, and then it's going to hit us with Ancient Power. As you can see, guys, not doing any damage with that Reflect Up and those charms. We're going to finish it off in a couple Thunderbolts. Now it's back to a Dragonair, easy one-shot for Frieza, and finally the Master Dragonite. I just wanted to give Goofball a chance to shine here so that Frieza didn't have to do all the work, but unfortunately after a Confuse Ray we're GG'd, and we one-shot it with Ice Beam. Frieza, the freaking champion, 4 times effective against that Pokemon. What can we say, guys? Now it's time to take on the final battle in the game, the champion fight. Right now, let's do this, guys. Can we beat Pokemon Fire Red with only babies? This is it. We start off with a Pidgeot that we're going to one-shot with Thunder, and then we switch over to Frieza to take down this Rhydon in one shot with Ice Beam. Next up is a Gyarados. You know what's up, guys. 4 times effective Thunder, one shot. Alakazam comes out. We try to set up a Light Scream to help our team, but unfortunately we do go down. It sets up a Reflect, and we get a chance to sweetly kiss it with Frieza, which is perfect. And then we get a couple of Ice Beams off and take it down in conjunction with confusion damage. Now it's time for this level 63 freaking Charizard. Luckily, Bluebell can take the Fire Blast, and we get the Toxic off and take the Future Sight attack, absorbing all the damage for Goofball to come in, hit it with a Confuse Ray, Secret Power it down, Citrus Berry range. That keeps it right out of healing range, guys, but the Poison knocks it back down, and it gets full restore. Thankfully, we do get the Paralysis off, but Goofball does go down, and we're stuck with Randy Savage, who cannot do enough, but Frieza, with the Psychic, will take him down, and now it's just an Executor, which you already know is an Ice Beam away from death, guys, and that is a quick GG. We did it, fams. Oh, okay, never mind. He lived with a Shred. My bad. Okay, well, now Internet is going to proceed to use over and over full restores, guys. Get a load of this. I'm going to speed it up, but you're not going to believe it. Ice Beam down, full restore. Ice Beam down, full restore. Over and over, but eventually we do get the kill, guys, and that is a quick GG. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know what you think in the comments below, and also maybe suggest something you want to see next. And if you're new to my channel, guys, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Leave a like on the video. Check out the other content. We do a lot of different things on this channel and more things to come. So without anything else to take up your time, guys, I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next video.